Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Cheyenne. And I'm Ralph Nader, and as most of you already noticed, I'm not the other Ralph Nader. And I promise you, for those of you who have heard this joke 2, 3, 4 times, it might get retired fairly soon. But we are very, very happy to be here at the ATFL Gala this evening.
This is the RMF, right?
This is the RMF Gala, sorry. We kid. Obviously, very close relationship between our organizations, and we couldn't be happier to be here. It is an honor to be here, but it did take a little bit of convincing to get me up here today, because as I look across the room and right next to me, I see people that are way more deserving of hearing from, and whose stories you really need to hear. And I'm grateful that Cheyenne will have a lot more talking time than I will. But as you know, if you've ever dealt with Nadia, it is absolutely impossible to say no to her. And without her, this doesn't happen. So if you don't mind, if we can take just a minute to just acknowledge Nadia and the work that she does to put this together. Thank you. While we are joking about ATFL, we are big supporters of our RMF, and my family and I, my parents included, Francois and Micheline, who were honored by RMF a couple of years ago, but unfortunately couldn't be here this evening for travel. Just couldn't be more proud to be part of this organization and support the organization. There's very few organizations that work on behalf of the Lebanese people the way RMF does, and it's truly a pleasure to be up here this evening.
Thank you, Ralph. As I stand here tonight, I cannot help but remember the incredible woman who made all this possible. Watching her as a child was my greatest inspiration. Naila Mawad, you are deeply missed tonight. She's the one who brought me to RMF. She's the one who brought me to RMF, where I experienced Lebanon from the north to the last village in the south. From each village, I have a story to tell. Together, we dreamt big and took daring steps. We built solar energy projects at a time when no one in Lebanon was even thinking about it. We helped Lebanese farmers export their produce to the EU, showcasing the potential of Lebanese agriculture. We empowered women by helping them start small businesses to avoid being forced into early marriages. We trained municipalities on decentralization, an idea widely discussed today, but championed by RMF long before it became a national conversation. Of course, none of this would have been possible without your support and the vital funding from international donors such as USAID. As a Lebanese American, I'm proud to say that the support of USAID and our taxpayer dollars changes lives. For 5 years, my work at RMF was filled with hope and dreams of a brighter future for Lebanon. And then came the Beirut blast. In a single moment, everything we had worked so hard for felt shattered. That week, I was planning to host a famous photographer from National Geographic to promote hidden sites in Lebanon under an RMF tourism project. But my dreams for Lebanon turned into rubble alongside the port of Beirut. My development work had turned into emergency relief programs, hot meals, reconstruction, and emergency aid. I tried to keep going, but I couldn't. Like so many young Lebanese, I left and moved to the US again for the second time since high school. I carried with me anger, a broken heart, and pain. But even in my darkest moments, I just couldn't give up on Lebanon. Yet, I wanted to tackle the policy side. That's why I joined the American Task Force on Lebanon. It gave me a chance to fight for Lebanon in a different way. Instead of seeing Lebanon stuck in endless cycles of emergencies and relief, we work towards bringing it back to the past we once dreamt of. Strengthening our US-Lebanon relationship is the key to help Lebanon. Like me, many of you here tonight have left Lebanon because you couldn't bear to watch it fall apart, and yet you haven't given up. It's yours.
And speaking of individuals who never give up, never lose hope, our MC tonight is another great example of devotion and somebody who is absolutely committed to a brighter future for Lebanon. Many of you already know him. He serves as the president of the American Task Force on Lebanon. And anyone who knows him knows how deeply he cares about Lebanon and how much of himself he pours into it, whether through RMF tonight or any other organization that supports the cause. I've had the privilege to see him in action for the last few years. And I can tell you, I can't tell you actually how much I admire the way he does things and the way he goes about getting the mission accomplished. I'm sure you've all heard the old adage, you know, they don't make them like they used to. I'm not sure that they ever made them like Ed. The amount of conviction, character, and selflessness that goes into what Ed does in a diplomatic way is certainly one of a kind. So it is an absolute honor for us to say a few words about him this evening.
Ed Gabriel, the volunteer president of ATFL, has led ATFL with incredible dedication, defying the odds to stand by Lebanon when it needed us most. By the way, we've made him an honorary member of my village, Zgharta.
So please join us in welcoming Ambassador Ed Gabriel to the stage this evening. Thank you.